Hello, humans. Dr. Tux here. Most people think cats just want food and a little affection on their own terms. They're wrong. There are a few things in a cat's life that matter far more than most people realize. Not expensive toys, not fancy gadgets, not perfectly designed cat furniture, but small behaviors from you. Tiny moments of attention, understanding, and connection that your cat may quietly value for years. Because while cats are often described as emotionally distant, they are actually extremely observant social animals, and over time, they begin building an entire understanding of safety, trust, and routine around the humans they live with. The strange part is that most owners never notice it happening, but your cat does, every single day. And there are certain things many cats spend their entire lives hoping you will do. The first is surprisingly simple: getting down to their level, literally. Most humans interact with cats from above, towering over them, walking past them, reaching downward constantly. But from a cat's perspective, height matters. A lot. In nature, larger animals approaching from above are usually not a good sign, which means towering human movement can sometimes feel overwhelming, even in trusted homes. This is why many cats react differently when you sit or lie down on the floor near them. Suddenly, your size changes, your movement slows, your posture becomes less intimidating, and the interaction becomes more socially equal. Many owners notice this immediately. A cat that seemed distant suddenly approaches. They rub against you, sit nearby, begin purring, or simply remain in the same space comfortably. That is not random. Cats often feel safer interacting at eye level, especially cautious or shy cats. And interestingly, this behavior also mirrors feline social interactions more naturally. Cats do not usually greet trusted cats by towering over them aggressively. Their interactions are often lower, slower, and more controlled. So when you sit quietly on the floor with your cat, you may actually be communicating in a way their own nervous system understands better. And for some cats, those quiet floor-level moments become incredibly important. The second thing cats deeply value is vertical space, and this is something you can actively provide for them. Humans often underestimate how psychologically important sight is for cats. To us, a shelf is just a shelf. To a cat, elevation represents safety, control, visibility, and security. Cats evolved as both predators and prey, which means they are constantly balancing two instincts: the desire to observe and the need to avoid vulnerability. Height solves both problems at once. From elevated spaces, cats can monitor their environment while feeling safer themselves. This is why many cats instinctively climb shelves, cabinets, door frames, or even your shoulders. They are seeking strategic positioning, not just entertainment. When you intentionally provide vertical territory, a cat tree, wall-mounted shelves, a window perch, something shifts. Many cats become visibly more confident, more relaxed, less reactive, especially indoor cats who cannot expand their territory outward the way an outdoor cat might. What you're giving them isn't furniture, it's environmental control, and animals with more environmental control generally experience less stress. So, when you set up that elevated space for your cat, you are changing how secure the entire environment feels to them. The third thing many cats quietly love is hearing your voice, even when you think they are not listening. Cats become highly familiar with human vocal patterns over time. A 2013 study from the University of Tokyo found that cats can distinguish their owner's voice from a stranger's, and many respond differently depending on tone, rhythm, and emotional energy. But the interesting part is this: cats do not always need direct interaction to benefit from your voice. Sometimes simply talking out loud while existing near them is enough. This may explain why many cats choose to sit in the same room while owners work, cook, clean, or watch television. They are not always seeking active engagement. Sometimes they are simply participating socially through presence. Your voice becomes part of the environment, part of the territory, part of what feels familiar and stable. This is especially important for indoor cats, whose worlds are relatively small compared to human lives. You may leave for hours, interact with dozens of people, and experience an entire day outside the home. Meanwhile, your cat's environment remains relatively unchanged. So, when you return and begin speaking again, the social environment becomes active once more. And for many cats, That matters more than humans realize. The fourth thing cats deeply depend on is routine. In fact, routine may be one of the most important parts of a cat's emotional stability. Cats are extremely pattern-oriented animals. They constantly study repetition. When you wake up, when you feed them, when lights turn off, when you leave, when you come home. Over time, your cat begins building predictions around these patterns, and predictable environments reduce stress. This is one reason cats often struggle with sudden environmental change, not because they are dramatic, but because predictability is biologically calming. A stable routine tells the nervous system the environment is safe, understandable, and manageable, and humans become central parts of those routines. This is why some cats wait near the door before you arrive home, or wake owners at exactly the same hour every morning, or become anxious when schedules suddenly change. To humans, routines are often boring. To cats, routines create security. And when owners consistently maintain small rituals, feeding times, greeting routines, play sessions, even bedtime habits, those patterns slowly become emotionally meaningful. The fifth thing many cats spend years hoping humans will understand is respecting boundaries. This may actually be one of the greatest expressions of trust in feline relationships. Because unlike many social species, cats are highly autonomy-driven animals. Control matters deeply to them. The ability to leave, the ability to choose interaction, the ability to observe before engaging. And when humans ignore those boundaries, trust often weakens. Many people unintentionally create stress by forcing interaction, overhandling, following cats constantly, or ignoring subtle signals of discomfort. But cats communicate boundaries constantly: tail movement, ear position, body tension, turning away, leaving. And when humans consistently respect those signals, something important happens. The cat learns, this human listens, and that creates psychological safety. Ironically, cats often become more affectionate once they know they can leave safely whenever they want, because trust grows strongest in environments where control is preserved. This is also why some cats become deeply attached to people who seem to do less. Those humans are often simply better at respecting feline communication. And perhaps that is the most important thing to understand about cats overall. Many of the moments that matter most to them are incredibly small, sitting quietly beside them on the floor, creating a predictable routine, speaking to them calmly, providing a safe, elevated space, allowing them to choose closeness instead of forcing it. These behaviors may seem insignificant to humans, but to cats, they slowly become the foundation of trust. And over years of living together, your cat begins building an entire emotional map around those moments. Not dramatically, not loudly, but consistently. Which is why some cats spend their whole lives quietly waiting for those moments to happen again. Which of these does your cat already respond to? Let me know in the comments.